there are a lot of doubts coming up from the teachers regarding how to fill HPC. So we have our questions and sir will answer those questions for the clarity of everybody. So sir, my first question is that on the cover page we have got this a 360-degree view of and then name of student. So how do we fill these two things?
So this 360-degree view of will be only the first name of the child. For example, if the name of the child is Amit Agarwal, so it will be a 360-degree view of Amit. And name of the student will be the full name of the child, that is the first name and the middle name and the last name as well. So clearly it's the first name and the second part is name of the student will be the full name of the child.
Thank you, sir. Sir, then in the cognitive domains, competencies we are filling only for term 1 now. If there are certain competencies which are not effective in term 1, what is to be done about that?
So in case a competency is not relevant to term 1, what we will do is we will start a dash from the box of stream or beginner and strike it across that particular box, write a NA in the middle box and another dash on the next box, that is progressive or advanced. So in short, it's going to be a dash, NA, dash, covering all the three boxes, showing that it's not applicable in that particular term.
And sir, what comes in credits earned?
Credits earned is, we will declare the credits for each subject at the end of the year. So right now, we can give it right now, but we are not filling it anything in the term 1. So that's to be kept in mind, that credits earned will be a blank right now. Only at the end of the year, after the examination is conducted and the child has successfully cleared the exam, the number of credits will be added over here. So normally it's either 5 credits per subject or 7 credits per subject. So we'll decide on that and we'll publish the list of credits as per the number of notional hours devoted to each subject.
Thank you, sir. And sir, the next doubt is regarding to the portfolios. Now teachers feel they have to mark the portfolios as per the subject. And so they are giving assignments to children to put in the portfolio. What should be done?
So what I feel is assignments should not be given because portfolio is not an assignment. Portfolio is a reflection of the child. Portfolio is used as assessment as learning. So in that, in simple words, is the child reflects what he or she is doing throughout the year. So the best work of the child will go in there. For example, he gets a certificate from Olympiads. He participates in any competition outside the school or within the school. He feels that he has done something special. It may not be awarded or rewarded, but according to him, it's an achievement. For example, he has completed reading a particular book, which is not a textbook, or he has visited a place where he got certain ideas or insights. So all these things can be added in the portfolio. So when the teacher evaluates the portfolio, each subject teacher can evaluate in his or her own way. So when I, as an English teacher, will look into a portfolio, I will see what are his achievements or reflections regarding my subject. As a maths teacher, if I see the portfolio again, I'll see that what components of mathematics is included in that portfolio. Now when I say components of mathematics, it does not mean like any maths assignment is there or not. What is the reflection of the child? Even if the child reflects that I need to improve my mathematics, he sets a SMART goal for himself where it's specific, measurable, attainable, realistic and time bound. Something like that, anything to do with the subject. His plans or his vision for the future, anything that comes in which is relevant to mathematics, even his career choice in future, if that is something that the teacher feels that he's targeting a career which needs the help of mathematics as a subject, then also we can give the scores accordingly, understanding what the child has written over there. In that, the teacher can consider the neatness of the work, the clarity of the thought process, how the child is reflecting or thinking about my subject. So it's not about what the child is doing about the subject. It's about how the child is thinking about the subject, and it's more of learning about learning. The learning the way I learn. So if that thing is clear, that I learn mathematics in this way, or I plan my learning of mathematics in this way, or I could have done this better in this way. If these things, simple write-ups of the child can be added to the portfolio, which can be evaluated. So every teacher looks at the portfolio from his or her own perspective and give the score accordingly in the portfolio. The number that is there can be added accordingly in the subject.
So just one more thing. If suppose a teacher feels that there is nothing related to my subject in this, then what should that teacher do?
So I feel portfolio submission itself, we can give at least 2 marks out of 5. So instead of giving a 0, because the child has done something in the portfolio, it may not be exactly very relevant to a subject that he may not like, the child may not like it. But then I understand by the portfolio itself, the child is not too inclined towards that subject because there's nothing inside the portfolio relevant to that subject. So the teacher can give a minimal of 2 marks, and then depending on whatever else is there, make it 3. But then the child cannot get 4 or 5 if he has not done anything relevant to the subject at all. And again, I'm telling relevant in the sense it's not a write-up or a project or an assignment. It's more about the thought process of the child about the subject. That's it.
Sir, on Bloom's psychomotor domain, we have got term 1 and term 2. Now under term 1, there are these boxes given there.
Right.
These are to be filled by the class teacher?
Yes, this is to be Bloom's psychomotor domain is to be filled in either by the class teacher or the sports teacher. But then sports teachers have a lot of other students to look after because there is one sports teacher for every 500 children, ideally. But there's only one teacher for class teacher for 30 students. So the sports teachers can give the feedback to the class teachers and the class teachers can mark these points. And there's a box just under that.
Yes, sir.
So in that box, it will be a specific feedback. For example, I'm talking about imitation, manipulation, precision, articulation, naturalization. Now, what sport or activity I'm referring to. So if the child is good in cricket or football, we'll write over there in the box, cricket, football, badminton, or table tennis or tennis. So the name of the sport will be there in the box where the child is doing well. So something that the child is not doing is not to be taken into consideration at all. So we'll not evaluate every child based on how he performs on the, let's say sprint or athletics or table tennis. It will be his sport. One sport is good enough. If the child plays more than one sport, which is if you gifted children do that way,
yes.
They have multiple sports, then multiple sports can be filled in. Otherwise, one sport also can be filled in over there.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
And same thing is applicable for the Bloom's affective domain.
Okay.
So this affective domain is relevant to art teachers because see, psychomotor domain has to do with the hand, the cognitive domain has to do with the head, and Bloom's affective domain is to do with the heart. So heart involves his aesthetic sense, music, dance, art and craft, all these things are covered. At the same time, the value system of the child is also covered. So like honesty, helpfulness. So these things, the art and the music teachers can give a feedback to the class teacher, and the class teacher, along with, if she needs the help of other teachers, can consult them and find out the overall value system of the child. And in that box, they will write something like, let's say the child is good in singing. So they will write singing, comma, dancing, comma, honesty, truthfulness or courage. So whatever value and aesthetic he has developed, that will be going into that box.
To that empty box.
Right.
So there is a little query about visual and performing art. Under that we have that term 1 and term 2. So the subject is art education and discipline. And
Right.
below we have written on a 3-point A to C grading scale.
True.
So how do we do this grading?
So A to C is again a 3-point grading system which is similar to the competencies. So like grade C will be something like stream level, grade B will be mountain level, and grade A will be the sky level. Or in secondary case, it is like beginner, progressive, and proficient. So when we do that way, so regarding the art education, which form of art he is practicing or going for, based on that, how is his performance level, that we can grade accordingly. We can have rubrics that the teachers can make, but I recommend it right now. We don't have time to make rubrics, so it will be more subjective. Next time we will go with rubrics, but this time it can be a pure what the teacher thinks, the music teacher thinks or the dance teacher thinks. Based on that, grading can be done. And as far as the discipline is concerned, this discipline includes the discipline inside the class and also while the child performs these activities. So when the child is out on the field, what his discipline is like. When the child is in the dining hall, what the discipline is like. So considering all these factors, because discipline is something to do with the heart of the child as well.
Yes.
So it is put in the affective domain, and discipline of the class, outside the class, on the field, in the school vehicle, all these points can be gathered and graded A to C. Again, A is a beginner and C is like, A is not a beginner, A is a proficient and C is a beginner.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you, sir.
So any other